So the truth is, everyone knows Iman has absolutely changed the game of entrepreneurship for the better. This guy has literally changed fashion trends, every other kind of trend you can imagine when it comes to lifestyle, because he is the king of it. And the reason is because he doesn't flex some trashy Corvette in a bright orange spec. No diamond watches, no diamond jewelry or chains, just pure wealth and preservance, just the perfect balance between new and old money. And this is what I'm gonna run you through today. How has Iman Gadzhi actually gotten to the aesthetic that we've all been chasing for so long? And that's what I'm gonna show you today. With this blueprint in front of me, I've put out the exact way that Iman has literally created this life that we all wanna recreate ourselves. So without further ado, I know I'm back in my usual setup as it is for now. And I hope you enjoy this video. What is Iman Gadzhi's personal branding strategy? Well, we're gonna run you through the breakdown right now, starting with chapter 1 over here. The framing and the authority through his story. Who is Iman according to his brand? Well, Iman positions himself as a young, self-made entrepreneur who defied the system. This is extremely important. And a high school dropout into a multi-millionaire before the age of 25 years old. He is literally world-renowned for being like the 17-year-old who dropped out of high school and went into this online agency market. The rags to riches arc isn't just content, it's the foundation of his framing. The reason why he actually is so successful with the way that he pushes his narratives, how he sells, how he does everything, is because he really prioritizes sending this message over to the viewer. So the key framing pillars: anti-established. He's dropped out, he's called out traditional education multiple times, and it really helps with what his companies are, which is info, and a lot of his software companies trying to push younger audience into those sectors as well. Now, he's self-made, he's earned every penny of it, and he's done it all from scratch. And that's why he puts himself in this position of ditch school, put that away, and I'm going to teach you instead, giving him that authority that we're all looking for, as written down over here. It's that kind of like a guidance, like the father that he never had, as he explains, is what he tries to recreate in his videos. And this emotional anchoring triggers a couple different things. Aspiration, you look up to him. In fact, Iman Gadzhi is the one that I've looked up for this whole journey. He's the one from the very moment that I started entrepreneurship online. When I saw my first couple Andrew Tate videos, I started seeing him copying that kind of style of clipping, literally right as it begun. I was absolutely hooked. I called my friend up. I said, I'm going to start an SMA. And he said, what on earth is that? You're out of your mind. And I was. At the time, I tried many times and I failed even more. So with that being said, you look up to his vision. You know, I remember the time he brought around his Patek and I thought, geez, that's a nice watch. I love the look of it. It looks so clean, the way he presents himself. Everything is very aspirational for a young person. You know, the lifestyle, the world travel, the financial freedom is everything we dream of as a young person. Now, another thing that we love about this is a rebellion. Someone who goes against the norm, someone who pushes something else than everyone else is, and we kind of find ourselves in them. The anti-9 to 5, as we call them, you know, calling out NPCs, traditional education, and overall creates an identity-based following, not just viewers, but loyal believers. Very, very, very key. And this is the way, like, literally everyone sells nowadays, whether it's info, whether it's whatever it is, it's all through the idea of belief. That's why a viewer never means anything to me. And thirdly, empowerment. He always makes sure you can do it too. He makes you feel that way because let's go back to his story. Yeah, he was completely self-made, started from scratch, and he dropped out. He had everything against him, but he still made it work against the odds. Now, let's go into number 2. How does he actually position this in content tone and strategic ratios? Well, the tone, it's very simple. It's very serious. It's direct. but he also makes it very dominant. And this is on his main channel, by the way. The way that he positions himself across all social medias is also extremely different because he targets very different niche audiences between all his different ways. But we're talking from a general aspect. I can do it even more breakdown into this, but I'm covering it for the people who have seen him a couple times, want to understand a bit more, and really want to focus on the main objectives in this case. So more specifically, his videos carry a very strong tone and it's authority, not a friendship. For example, he did this launch of this event called the Digital Renaissance. And I remember when it was out, God, it's going to take me a second to write it with the mouse pad. Digital Renaissance. And the whole idea behind it was you push this authoritative idea of everything that goes with this story and pushing this idea, guys, the education system, get out of it, go into info, go into business before it's too late. Coming into this fathership role of saying, you need to do this. If not, let's be real, it's not going to work out. And he really focuses on the guidance part of things, not as much on the entertainment. And we've seen him branch off into these different sectors, like, for example, his unscripted channel, where you're always doing some sort of video of him flying in helicopters or all that kind of stuff. You see those thumbnails. Don't know what I'm really doing here, but you understand the point. Always having some intensity to it. There's always a driven motion behind every single one of his videos. So it's just about not having that fluff in there. This separates him more from casual creators because his tone is very respected, not just views. And this actually really helps because his main videos are actually positioned in a way, at least in the past, where most of his content was focused on entrepreneurship and growing as a human and really basically self-improvement as a general aspect. However, as I mentioned, all these, really focusing on the authority side of things, guidance side of things, and the intensity side of things, a lot of people can't just handle only getting that from a relationship. Well, the true thing is that as much as you can give authority, guidance, and intensity, he realized that you can't really just throw this at people nonstop. Definitely people already know who you are. Let's say you have a fan. You can always introduce yourself in a certain way, but they want to develop the character building. They don't want to stay at that entrance stage where you shout at them. They want to have a deep talk or see the behind the scenes of things in your actual life. And that is how he came up with his ratio. He's a 2-to-1 ratio in this case, and it's information based to his lifestyle content. Now, this helps with a lot of that positioning him in a certain way. And this helps with the actual facts behind it, helps with the authority, helps with his companies and so on. So really, this is where people find him because this is what he's popular for. However, the lifestyle and everything on top of that is to build his character up, truly believe in that lifestyle that he's achieved. And Iman balances his output between that agency work, the high value business content, and the lifestyle vlogs, the gym, the friends, the cars, the fashion, dinners, everything that goes along with it. Again, as I'm saying here, attracting these new viewers into the content funnel. And then tactically, as a second step over here, retain those loyal fans with the relatable life glimpses. And that's how he does it. He doesn't just teach, he lives his result on camera. Now we go into the actual aesthetics behind it, the visual identity and the lifestyle branding. Everything is a brand touch point. Iman's lifestyle isn't just shown, it's branded fully. Everything from his color palette. So you can look at general images, and I really like to teach this amongst people when they're taking aesthetic pictures, right? And the reason why, and I guarantee you this right now, every one of his cars is black and gray. Black, 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 and gray, gray. It's all part of his color palette. It's part of the design of his brand. He wants to come off in a certain way, mysterious. You know, he wears black a lot of the time. That's his main color. And having other less saturated colors in the background doesn't scream for attention. It's all about the stealth. It's about the aggressiveness. It's about that deeper trust, that mysteriousness that we're looking for. And he also doesn't overcomplicate it either. It's very clean, very minimal, black and white, tones, etc. His fashion. This is something he's also extremely well known for, and he's literally changed the industry because of it. I don't think I've seen more loafers being worn in the last 3 years ever before. And that comes down to Iman and the fact that he wears loafers way too much. You know, it's monochrome, it's luxury streetwear, timeless, but not trendy. He doesn't follow any trends. He makes them himself. That's how to be an actual icon in life, is to actually just don't follow the trends. Please, I swear on my life, don't follow the trends. Locations, picking the right places as well is extremely important. He goes to Dubai, London, private jets, rooftops, gyms, luxury backdrops, which really help communicate that like mysterious billionaire lifestyle that he maintains constantly. And then lastly, part of the cinematography in this case is actually slow motion, really nice color grading, and the B-roll. Oh my God, it's polished. If we go to Pinterest here and just have a look at some of these images, we can all tell exactly what I just showed you before. It's all about the work lifestyle. It's all about the black. I don't see an image here without the use of the color black here. Black, 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 every single one, all grays, all blacks, all monotone, all very classy, very timeless. Look at the way he dresses here. So when do you see, you know, I'm assuming he's probably like 20 years old, 19 years old in this picture, but you don't see them, people like this with gilets in like central London. And my bad for whatever that is, jeez. But the point is that he comes off across in a very certain way, and a lot of people enjoy that. It's effortless, it's timeless, it's unique. And the way he does it is, again, through the same color palette, through the fact that it's not overdone. He's not showing off on purpose. You know, what makes an image like this so good is that it doesn't show the full cars. You know there's a 911 Carrera GTS by the look of it on the back, and that's a GT3 RS because of the massive wing on the back. And the thing is, he's not posing. He's just doing his thing. Same way here, going to tennis. Who would have thought? And here, skipping in front of the cars. They all come with a sense of effortless. He's not posing for the camera in this picture. He's just showing that he's working. It's part of his lifestyle. Here again, showing he's working. And having that as the background, him just walking around, is what makes it so good. It's all candid pictures. Anyway, back to the extensions. And the extension off of his lifestyle actually has some of its own benefits. He's able to make his own brands because of this, because of his aesthetic, because of the way he makes it. You're going to have a very premium minimal CEO look at that price point that he puts his Gadget glasses. Now, these are early versions, but he's actually rebranded it into Hills and done an amazing job at it all. Because nothing feels random in his pictures. There's no reason why he's flexing. There's no reason. It all makes sense. It's very tight, intentional, and aspirational. In the same way, his beverage brand is focused around the wellness side of things, and the packaging just looks amazing. So you can really tell that he does focus a lot of the energy on making things look really nice. How does he actually turn this many viewers into revenue? Well, it's a very simple strategy. But a lot of people don't see through it. They always fall in the same trap. Here, he doesn't rely on random sales. No. When it comes to his courses, his info products, there's always a dedicated attention spike, so to speak, so that the revenue shoots up and prepares for the next cycle. How does he do it? Well, he has a very high converting funnel. He does this with a 7-day launch cycle, countdown, scarcity, and then the urgency. It's very, very FOMO driven. As I told you before, like on this digital renaissance thing, he really pushed it for 1 week straight. He put out a video every single day talking about the behind the scenes, the backside, the scary truth about the school system and how it actually came about with the Rockefeller family and everything like this, super in depth. To do a 7-day series on this, and it was just one massive CTA to show you that you need to take action because history repeats itself. And when you needed to take action, he would promote his own stuff. And as much as people like to call that a scam, I don't think it's a scam. Honestly, genius marketing strategies that people don't really think of, but they do really provide the value that they do say. And the thing is, people call course sellers whatever, they call them scammers and whatnot. But if there's true value inside of it, like his platform Educate did, then I really don't see how you can call him a scammer that quickly. Even doing now, live events, webinars, highly produced, pre-hype, deadline-driven events that really push sales a ton. We even saw this with Alex Hormozi a couple of weeks ago, where he pushed 100 mil in just 2 days. Crazy stuff. Pushes it all into this very high converting funnel. Clear, simple. Scarcity focused landing pages, very, very high quality landing pages. Let me just say that. And the social proof is loads. The testimonials, the live clips, everything is all put in there just to sell them that much more. This allows them to, drive 7-figure revenues in days, not months, days. And I'm sure he's crossed 8 figures multiple times with this strategy. So that's how you convert an audience attention into a massive cash flow in one go. It's not to do with, oh, I've gotten X amount of views over the last 3 months. No, it's supposed to be, I'm hyping this one event up. I hyped it up super well. We got 100,000 people already all waiting. Boom, sold them all on it. And that's about it. They're in. No need to push it any further. Now, the achievements and branding lessons that we've learned. He built a $30 million plus educational company. And of course, it doesn't have a selling point exactly, but it is an incredible company where he was able to push so many people into. He became the face of the SMA model worldwide. And this is another strategy that he's implemented many times. And I even implemented myself. Now, the SMA model was essentially that he would push this idea of a new agency that he created. He became the leader of the SMA model, and that way he could very easily sell people on the fact that he's the leader and the creator of the model. And then lastly, created a recognizable identity without constant content output. This is super important because it's not like he's one of these people who's just taking those handheld TikToks constantly and pushing 100 million views. No, he's doing it in a very calculated way that doesn't ruin his brand. Not like TGR. Respectfully, I love the guy, but it's not, you don't have that aura about you, if that makes sense. He maintains that high value brand all the time. That perception is always there. So what can we learn from this? You craft your own original story, make people emotionally invested. You control your aesthetic. Every visual builds your brand memory, essentially. And the more that you see it, the more they get used to it, the more they understand it's that guy one more time. And diversity to your content. Teach and show the lifestyle and really bring them into your ecosystem. Use launches, not drops. Build anticipation and build that scarcity up. And then don't blend in. Be polarizing, have an edge, dominate your niche. So we've gone over the 5 simple things that have basically changed the game for personal branding, because this is the GOAT right here. This is the absolute GOAT of personal branding. So I want to shout out Iman for being one of my biggest inspirations throughout this whole journey, and being the reason actually why I'm here right now. With that also being said, I don't like to do a CTA. However, I've shown you so much content on this channel, and throughout the last months, I've actually come up with a pretty cool idea. Now, I've got a waiting list for this idea below, and there's going to be so much value in here because I know there's just so much to cover in these videos. I can't lie. So there is going to be some really cool stuff coming soon. And if you sign up to a waiting list, you're just going to get early access to it straight away. Stick around for my next video in Amsterdam, which is one of my vlogs. And then the video after that, where I'm going to actually show you how to build out a WAP community, which is going to be really cool. And alongside that note, I've got a WAP community as well. If you want to join, you can actually start clipping me already. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I want to see how that goes. So have a look. If you're interested, you can ask me some questions. And if not, if you want to work with me, DM me on Instagram too. And otherwise, I hope you really enjoyed the video. He's changed us for the better.